Good afternoon, members of the media. With seniors age 65 and over eligible to vote next week in advance polls, we are focused on our record and vision for seniors in the next term. We have a heart for seniors and care about the social issues that impact our seniors. During this campaign, we've spoken about the strength of our leadership team. Part of that team is MP Derek Burgess. MP Burgess has served as the Deputy Speaker in the last Parliament and has served the Progressive Labour Party since his election to the House of Assembly in 1998. MP Burgess is a tireless advocate for our seniors and is the Member of Parliament responsible for ensuring that the party made a pledge in our last election manifesto to enact a charter of rights and responsibilities for the elderly in long-term care and saw to it that the Progressive Labour Party kept that promise to enact that charter. The Progressive Labour Party team is stronger with MP Derek Burgess on this team, and now he will speak to what the PLP has done for our seniors since we were elected.
Thank you, Mr. Premier, and good afternoon, Bermuda. Next week, our seniors will go to the polls. All voters aged 65 and over are eligible to vote. As a reminder, the polls are open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 4 different locations, depending on your constituency, from Monday, September 14th to Friday, the 18th. Constituencies 1 to 9 will vote at Midland Heights, 7th-day Adventist Church Hall. Constituencies 10 to 18 will vote at the National Sports Center, Sports Pavilion. Constituencies 19 to 27 will vote at the Horticultural Hall, Botanical Gardens. And constituencies 28 to 36 will vote at St. Mary's Church Hall. If you need a ride to the polls, please call 703-8757. As a note, all our rides will be equipped with masks and hand sanitizers. That being said, as seniors go to the polls, it is critical that seniors be aware of what we have done to uplift our seniors during our term. First, we instituted annual cost of living increases for social insurance pensions. Those increases are now linked to the rate of inflation and designed to lessen the hardship that too many of our seniors now endure. In contrast, under the last government, the OBA made seniors wait 5 long years for a pension increase. That wait was the longest period of time between increases since the OBA's predecessor, the UBP, was in power. If increases to pensions are important to you, it is clear, based on our performance, which party you can count on. We added affordable housing units for seniors, and we signed the Bermuda Charter of Rights and Responsibilities for the elderly and adults in need of long-term care and assistance. This charter is a guideline to protect the human rights and civil liberties of our seniors, who are the fastest growing segment of our population. Age and dependency is not a grounds to take away the rights of our seniors. Restrictions of rights, if caused by age and or dependency, must rest on clear legal grounds. Working with Age Concern and the Bermuda Housing Corporation, we introduced interest-free loans of up to $15,000 to support home modifications to allow seniors who chose to remain at home to do so. And of course, the PLP is the party that years ago introduced Future Care. Whilst the policy needs updating, it does provide an important healthcare option for Bermudian seniors. The most important thing to note when it comes to Future Care is that under the OBA, Future Care payments went up 30%. That's right. Under the OBA, seniors paid 30% more for health coverage. Under the PLP, since elected in 2017, Future Care premiums have not risen at all. Seniors are paying the same amount for Future Care today as when we were elected, because we look out for our seniors. As our seniors go to the polls next week, we ask them, who has stood strong for them? Who increased seniors' pension, increased affordable housing for our seniors, and strengthened rights and privileges available to our seniors? Raised the retirement age for public servants and ensure that seniors didn't pay more for their health care? The answer is the PLP, and that's why we humbly ask you to vote in the advanced poll and vote solidly for the Progressive Labor Party.
Thank you very much, Cousin Derek. And as you can see, the Progressive Labor Party has a very strong record when it comes to making sure that we take care of our seniors. And I thank you, Cousin Derek, for your tireless advocacy on their behalf, and I'm certain that that advocacy will continue. Next, I'd like to introduce Senator Ianthea Simmons-Wade. Like MP Burgess, Senator Simmons-Wade is passionate about our seniors. She adds depth to our team as the chair of the Aging Well Committee, and she ensures that government policies take into account our aging society. As seniors go to the polls next week, it is important that they know what is in store for them if they vote for the Progressive Labor Party. And Senator Wade will give us a sneak preview of our platform commitments to our seniors. Senator Wade.
Thank you so much, Premier and MP Burgess, for looking back at our accomplishments in government. With our seniors voting next week, I want to give you a sneak preview of what is in store in our platform moving forward. In the coming years, it will be difficult for all of us. We will see declining revenues resulting from the severe damage to our tourism economy. All of us will have to tighten our belts. Bermuda, we will have tough decisions to make. One very important choice will be to protect our seniors' pensions. As MP Burgess said, the PLP kept its promise to increase seniors' pensions by the rate of inflation every year, and we will keep that promise again if the PLP forms the next government. The PLP reveres its seniors. In response to this growing segment of our community and recognizing the value that keeping them engaged has to do with their quality of life, purpose, and worth, the next PLP government will continue to increase the seniors' pensions every year by the rate of inflation, take into account that we are living longer and in the development of, and take this into consideration in the development of all of our policies. We will finalize a national senior strategy, which will include a strategy for dementia and a better prevention plan for senior abuse. Facilitate the construction of seniors' housing in the city of Hamilton that allows seniors to downsize their accommodations with easy access to support services that enables them to age well. Create partnerships with the private sector to create or renovate seniors' recreational centers using existing government buildings to provide more spacious, accessible, and energy-efficient buildings. Enact laws to reduce age discrimination so that Bermudians over 65 who wish to continue working can do so. Reduce vehicle license fees, eliminate land tax for nursing homes and rest homes, market the interest-free home improvement loan program to persons 50 and older in preparation for aging at home when they are in the position to repay the loans. In these very difficult times, Bermuda needs safe hands to see us through a potential second global wave of the corona pandemic. At the end of the day, this election is about who will lead us, David Burt or Craig Cannonier, and which team will see us through. Next week, your choice is between an experienced PLP leadership with a record of performance who has always looked out for our seniors, or you can choose an OBA led by Craig Cannonier that has a record of broken promises, who increased pensions once in 5 years and increased future care premiums on our seniors by 30%. In these trying times, we ask for your vote, and together we will steer Bermuda through a difficult times, which will always ensure, while always ensuring our seniors live in dignity. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wade. And now I'm happy to open up the floor to any questions from members of the media in attendance.
Thank you, Mr. Premier.
And you can direct your questions to...
Perhaps if I could start with either Ms. Wade or Mr. Burgess. I just had a seniors-related question, and then I had a few for yourself. I don't want you to have to shuffle the microphones around too much, but shall I start with the ones for you first and then move over?
If you wish.
Yes, okay. I had a few regarding the three constituencies that have been held by the party, which means that people in these constituencies are not going to get a vote. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that. I mean, doesn't that, in a way, it's good for the party, but doesn't it leave the voters themselves disenfranchised in the election?
What I would say is that our election laws on uncontested elections have not changed since they've been implemented. And I think it speaks to the strong leadership of the Progressive Labor Party team today, where we're talking about the work of which we're doing for seniors. And what I can say is the seniors in those constituencies will be well represented by the Progressive Labor Party team if we form the next level.
But in terms of the voters themselves, you know, I know these are three MPs who are known for working their constituencies, but technically this is a time for MPs to be accountable to their constituents, and that hasn't happened this time around.
I accept what you're saying, but as I've said, election laws have not changed. And so there have been long-standing laws for uncontested elections. That's right.
Do you think it's in a way skewed for the PLP? I mean, are you happy with the result, or is that just how it goes?
We have a strong team. We have put forward a strong team, as we have said. We think that nomination day and elections are a celebration of our democracy, and we're looking forward to continuing to present our ideas towards the general public. But our view is that we have the strongest leadership team to see the country through the difficult times ahead. Seniors are concerned about a potential second wave of the coronavirus, and they want to know that they can rely on a Progressive Labor Party team that has looked out for them, that contains people such as Cousin Derek Burgess and also Senator Anthony Wade, who will always have seniors' interests at heart.
Thank you, sir. And on that seniors note, I guess I had a question for one of yourselves. I'll just throw it out there. I mean, something that I always hear about is that we really need a specialized Alzheimer's and dementia care center in Bermuda. That, you know, seniors' homes are full, and that there's a lot of this going to be coming. I guess how do we do that at a time when obviously we've taken a hit to the public purse, and something like that is not going to come cheap? Is that a concern that has been raised with yourselves on the doorsteps?
This has actually not been raised on the doorstep, but this is an issue that we have always looked at in terms of the increasing level of dementia in Bermuda. We have worked, I mean, not as a government per se, but you have individual medical practices that have focused on dementia. And as we said, in terms of one of the items that we will be rolling out, we will be looking basically at developing a national senior strategy, which will include a strategy for dementia. So we are concerned, and we do know it's an issue, and we will be focusing on it in our next platform and in the upcoming year.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Cousin?
I'm sorry, sir, you covered it pretty well. There is one thing, and forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but isn't it something that some seniors have been asking for, is for age to be included in the Human Rights Act? Is that something that's going to be coming down the line?
Well, we addressed the age for civil servants, public servants. We increased the age from 65 to 68. But yes, it should be in all human rights acts.
And if you listen to what Senator Anthony Wade said, one of the things we're certainly going to do is to reduce age discrimination in the workplace, so persons over the age of 65 can continue to work. Now, that's something that Cousin Derek has been calling for some time.
All right, thank you, both.
Teron?
Yes, Premier, talking about seniors, I'm curious because the PLP government has been pursuing the single-payer healthcare system, which during consultation received tremendous pushback from the establishment. So I'm just curious as to whether or not, should you retain power on October 2nd, if the PLP government will continue to push for a single-payer healthcare system?
I'm going to say that you're mischaracterizing a few things about the Bermuda Health Plan. And so from the perspective of the Bermuda Health Plan, what we wanted to do was to make sure that everyone was in a single insurance pool to stabilize costs across the board. But what you had seen through that process is the strength of leadership that the Progressive Labor Party provides. Whereas, unlike the former government, pushing things through without a collaborative process, we made sure that we consulted widely, and we believe that following that consultation, we have a strategy that will work going forward. But today is focused on our seniors, and if we want to talk about healthcare for seniors, we should talk about future care. And I think there's a real contrast to be made. In this government, we have not increased future care premiums, and the former government increased future care premiums on our most vulnerable by 13% in the time in which they're in office. That is a clear contrast of priorities, and that is a clear contrast of the party that makes sure that our seniors are protected.
Thank you, Premier.
Any further questions? No? Okay. If there's no further questions from the media, I thank you very much for your attendance. I will reiterate the reminder of certainly for seniors to look out for the information. The advanced poll is scheduled from next week, Monday to Friday at the various locations. There may be some impacts based upon the impending possible arrival of a storm, but we'll have more information, and the Minister of National Security will have more information on that in a press conference later today. So with that, thank you very much for your attendance, and hope to see you at the polls.